Can you actually cycle sync if you are in perimenopause? That is what we're going to dive into all about inside this episode. Theo and I are sitting here in the car and getting ready to go to a baseball game. And like I've said in some of my previous episodes, this has been my favorite place to actually record episodes lately. The only difference today is that I'm actually on video because it's one, sunny out, and two, because it's my ovulation phase and I'm feeling good about it. And I also got dressed and did my makeup. Only caveat here, as you may see if you're watching the video, I may start to sweat. I feel like I might need to lower my windows here. I'm getting a little bit heated in the car, but maybe it'll give me a nice glistening glow. But Theo and I are sitting here, and I wanted to be able to answer one of these hot topics. One of these top questions I get asked all the time is, can you actually cycle sync if you're in perimenopause? And it makes sense, right? If we're talking about how do we actually align our businesses, how do we align our to-do list, how do we really build and scale and grow and create our dreams and all of these things around our menstrual cycle, there is a level of predictability that is desirable in that process to be able to know when and how we get things done. Perimenopause kind of flips all that up on its head, right? Your hormones are doing something completely different. They are unpredictable oftentimes. They can get really loud. It can get really messy. And I actually think that becomes a really great gift for us. Because the mistake that so many women make is that believing that cycle syncing is just about taking a Pinterest graphic, knowing where the 4 phases are, slapping it onto our calendars and calling it good. But I believe that that's just the beginning. That cycle syncing is actually this opening, this gateway, this doorway into us really understanding our bodies so much deeper and learning how to really listen to ourselves and trust our intuition. And so as we enter into perimenopause and those symptoms and those hormones get louder, they get messier, they maybe become in your face, that what was before was something that maybe it was just happening in the background is no longer in the background anymore. You're feeling the hormones, you're feeling the shifts, you're feeling the changes. They're happening even more. It makes cycle syncing in perimenopause even more important than if it was before. So if that's the phase and stage that you're in, I'm so happy for you because this gives you the opportunity to actually do what's at the core of all of this. And that the core of all of this is you learning and listening and understanding what's actually happening inside your body. So if instead of approaching this from this place of, I need to know where everything's predictable, I need to know what's happening, I need to know how it's happening, and instead you approach this season at looking at, how do I actually understand myself deeper? How do I learn to listen to myself deeper? How do I understand what's actually happening inside of my body rather than just trying to take some Pinterest graphic and throw it into your calendar? It may be a little bit different. It may not look exactly the same as somebody else who's cycle syncing, but that's the beauty of this too, right? This is your body, it's your business, it's your experience. And it's an initiation into understanding what's actually happening there for you. Now, another beautiful thing about this is that it's opening up this opportunity for you to not only learn to listen to yourself, but to set really clear boundaries about what you need and how you need them. It is this beautiful experience for women to learn to be able to express themselves and to understand themselves and to be able to express what they need. And because in perimenopause, all of those needs and all of those things that are happening inside your body amplify and they get so much bigger, it's a really great opportunity for you to learn to express, learn to step into that place of understanding this is what I need and this is how I'm going to share it with you. Now, I get it. And I totally understand that if your body is all over the frickin' board and you have no idea what's actually happening, it can still feel a little challenging of, where do I put things in my calendar? How do I do that? How do I plan ahead, right? It's really one thing to understand where your body is in the moment, which is so important. But there's another piece of this of being able to plan ahead into, how do I actually map things out? Here is one of the beautiful things I have learned about the human body is our human body is so adaptable. It learns the habits we give it and how we show up for it and how we interact with it. And it adapts to whatever we give it. So if you think about intermittent fasting, for instance, I tried it, did not love it. But when I did do it, There was the first little bit of time when my body was super hungry. I'd wake up at 7, 8 o'clock, or when I got up, it's like 7 or 8 o'clock. It's like, it's hungry. It wants food. It wants food. But over time, it learned that I don't eat until 10 o'clock anymore. And so now it's no longer sending me hunger cues at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. Maybe you've noticed this with maybe waking up early. Maybe you want to get up and you want to have like a 5 a.m. wake day. And so you hit that or you set that alarm at 5 o'clock and you wake up and hit snooze and you hit snooze and you hit snooze and you hit snooze. And eventually your body circadian rhythm changes and you get back on this circadian rhythm that's waking you up at 5 a.m. instead of at 6 or 7 or whatever you were doing before. Your body learned that this is the new rhythm. This is the new habit. Our bodies thrive on rhythms. They really do. They thrive on these rhythms and these routines, and it's about helping establish that. I do believe that that's a big part of why our world functions or has so much illness and so much disease and so much chronic pain and autoimmune and all of these things is partly because we are so living out of rhythm with the laws of the universe, with the rhythms of the universe, with Mother Nature, right? With the invention of the light bulb, as amazing and wonderful as it is, it allowed us to get up way earlier and to stay up way later instead of actually operating within that window of light, which is the circadian rhythm of the universe and the laws of nature and all of those things. And so when we understand that our bodies are greatly impacted by the habits and the routines that we have, one, and that we also have influence over those. Two, we can also set ourselves up to look at how are the laws of the universe running? How is Mother Nature running? And how can I tap into that to maybe ease some of the symptoms that I'm feeling, to be able to create a little bit more predictability and a little bit more rhythm with my body? And when we look at the two major rhythms, like the two major, I guess, planets, like the sun and the moon, they both represent men and women and how our body's normal rhythms function. So the sun functions very similar to like the men with this daily rhythm of testosterone repeating day after day after day. Women have the moon. So the moon is our lunar cycle. It's our cycle that's represented in the laws of the universe. And so when we enter into perimenopause and our bodies may be sending us all kinds of signals and doing all kinds of crazy, weird hormone stuff, if we can align ourselves with the rhythm of the moon, you will feel so much more regular. Things will feel so much more balanced. Things will feel more predictable. It may not come right away. It may not be one of those things where it's like instantly, all of a sudden, you're just like, oh, this feels amazing. But trust me that over time, if you start to live into that rhythm and you start to trust the rhythm of my body, like following the rhythm of the moon, I have a theory for those of us who are entering into perimenopause that if we do this, that over the course of our time through perimenopause, I do believe that it will make our symptoms less. I think it's going to help our bodies feel like this is the rhythm that we're supposed to be still kind of rhythming in. And as we transition out of that on a biological level, we can still function in that in a rhythm level, like how we actually show up in our world. And I do believe it will make a great difference for women. So, like I said, I'm just entering probably into perimenopause, like early perimenopause phase. And so I will definitely be doing this as my cycle starts to get changed and get different. And I encourage you to try it out and test it out and see how it goes for you. But when we really like recap all of this together, is looking at, can we actually cycle sync in perimenopause? My answer to that is 100% yes. And I actually think it's more important for you to do it in perimenopause when your hormones are heightened, your body is doing things all over the place. It's really messy. It's really important for you to learn to trust what's happening in your body, to be able to set boundaries and express what you need around that, and then be able to then align yourself with the rhythm of the moon and the laws of the universe and be able to help kind of not impose, that's the wrong word, but kind of like impose these external like habits and routines on it that help it operate and maintain a little bit more of that rhythm over time. Hopefully this gave you a little bit of clarity in terms of perimenopause and what that really looks like. But I 1000% believe that all humans are designed to be rhythmical. We look at all of the patterns around the universe, there's so much rhythm, there's so much patterning. And to think that us as humans don't exist within that, or that as soon as perimenopause comes into play, that all of the rhythms of our bodies are out the window, I think is just crazy sauce. So maybe for you in this season, it's not actually the menstrual cycle. Maybe you look at your circadian rhythm. Maybe you look at the rhythm of the moon. Maybe you look at some other rhythm in your body, but you are rhythming. You still are cycling. Your body still has this rhythm to it. And it's about whether or not you're willing to actually take the time to pause and learn the language of your body. Okay? So, with that, I will see you in the next episode. I'm like sweating up a wazoo here. And Theo, do you want to say goodbye? You didn't get to really say hello. You want to say hello? He got his little shave cut. So he's already, he's trying to eat the microphone. He's ready for summer, swimming in the swimming pool. The kids were taking him in the pool and he was getting so matted. So we gave him a shave cut. So anyway, with that, I will see you in the next episode.